All right, we're going out here to get this rear wheel bearings and rear brakes and drums. The customers got their own rear brakes and drums. I cleaned the Prius up and waxed it a little bit. Looked pretty good, don't it? I just got to program my spare key that goes to it and put a little tire shine on that and a for sale sign. That thing's out. Thing is for sale. Anyway, Ford Escape. Welcome to the channel, guys. If you're new here, we're making it work, and I'm Jimmy. This truck's also featured in my Week in the Shop series, so look for that. But in this video, gonna be just about this Ford Escape and some rear wheel bearings and doing the customer's brake work they requested. I told them the brakes are good. They're about half to 3/4 left on the shoes, but they already bought shoes and drums, so they want me to put them on while I'm doing the bearings. So we're gonna get on a lift and get into it. Let's do it. There you go. Customer's goodies. You want new parts put on there? You got it. Should be quick and easy, especially with the hubs out of the way doing the rear bearings. Now this has a spindle nut like an axle facing the wrong way. You got to take that nut off, and then you got to press the hub out. It's kind of like the Toyota front wheel bearings. There's no replacement bolt-in hub on this. It's a press bearing. So you either can take the whole knuckle off or try to do it on the car with the hub tamer. That's what we're gonna do. In case you guys haven't seen my Week in the Shop video, these are the brake shoes we're replacing. That's the kind of shape they're in. So we'll grab the new shoes and see what they look like. Bring you guys in close for a comparison of the new shoes and the old shoes. What do you guys think? New shoe versus old shoe? You can see why I said it didn't need brakes. But the problem is it's easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled. So once someone told them they needed brakes, you can't talk them out of it. It's sad that you can tell somebody something till you're blue in the face, but once they decide, facts don't matter. Oddly enough, this is a 32 millimeter. The nuts are 31. Be advised, because a 30 don't fit on, and a 32 is a little big, and all of my sets skip over 31 and 33. And lately I've been coming across 31 and 33 millimeter nuts. It's like a never-ending battle. You got to buy a tool every couple of weeks, no matter what. Mechanics are overpaid. Now I think the reluctor ring. Oh, there you go. Unbolts from that. It is not splined or anything, so apparently it doesn't matter where it's clocked. Of course, the wheel spins, the reluctor spins. There's no top dead center or anything like there is on an engine. So now it's just a matter of taking the old hub tamer set and seeing if we can find adapters that'll make it work. 6537 from OTC. This is a good set. None of my hub tamer adapters are going to grab around the shoes to pull that out, so I got to do it the old-fashioned slide hammer way, which with the arthritis, that's going to be a little bit of a chore, but we'll see how hard it is to get out. Doesn't seem to be going. That hurts. Jeez Louise. Goodness gracious. Woo. Coming. I don't know how I'm going to do both sides, but kids out there, you think it's hard now. Wait till you're my age. Victory! Ooh, now I can use the hub tamer. Oh, I use your adapter on the outside because you're going to press the bearing towards where the snap ring was. So I use the cup on the outside so the bearing can fit into it, and on the inside use a spacer that presses on the bearing. And then it should be as easy as tightening a bolt and a nut, right? We'll see how that goes. So it used to be a 1 inch. the new one in, I'm gonna have to switch the adapters inside to out to press it that way. Now I just flip the adapters around, cup on the inside. This tool will go in the inner bearing race, so it won't damage the bearing at all. And then this goes on the inside. Let's see how that works out. Now I'm going to install my snap ring. I'll do the brakes though before I put the hub in, just because it's easier with the hub out of my way, right? When the snap ring's fully seated, you'll be able to turn it slightly without it trying to pop back out. Get some of that out of the way so it don't fall on the floor. These little springs they're so tiny, none of my spring tools will work. So I'm going to bust out the old engineer screw pliers. I don't think these have a ton of tension on them, as I suspected. Get over here. Stop horsing around, man. We got work to do. What are you doing? Pull these out of here. I want everyone to see that. This just unhooks from the cable. The shoes come with new arms. Now what I do on these is I got the new shoe ready to go below, just out of your view, and when I'm going to pull the spring back and hold the cable with my side cutters very gently. It won't hurt the cable, and that way while it's pulled out you'll be able to get the new shoe on, if my calculations are correct. It's been a while since I did one of these.
Is it this one?
Probably.
There's the
larger one. That's it.
Well, yours looks bigger.
It's not. Well, that's what I've heard that before.
Yeah, I see. You got.
Not the first time I heard that, Joe.
You put a collar on it. I've never known. Never even knew those were in there.
See that? You learn something new every day if you hang out with me, buddy. Oh, come on now. Don't be like that. My people are watching. You're embarrassing me. I want them to think I'm just as good as Rain Man Ray. Look, look, oh, something's happening. Not enough. Need a little bit more. There you go. Now you can hang your new one on before you let go of it. Doosh. Piece of cake. Hook the spring on. It's easier this way than it is to stretch it on afterwards. Guide pin. Now, of course, the whole time I'm doing this, I got my lip held in the exact position needed to complete the task. You guys know how that works, right? Got to hold your lip just right. I mean, you can't just expect it to go together otherwise. Got to use your finger to hold the pin so it doesn't turn with the spring. There you go. That's how you do that. Now keep in mind, I mean, you can see how much easier it is with the hub out. Almost makes you want to sell wheel bearings with brakes. Be careful. Not to get your fingers. You got to wonder the whole time you work on these new contraptions when they change something that's been around for 100 years, and you know they give you the impression they're doing it for the better. But while you're working on it, it doesn't feel like it. After a few failed attempts, I'm figuring if I put this primary spring in before I put in the self-adjuster spring, maybe it'll go easier. There you go. That way I'm not, because before I was holding this, pulling this, trying to keep it all together and tension it. This thing helps tension it together as close as it'll go in the adjuster, and then you just put that spring on last. A little easier that way. I couldn't imagine trying to do this with the hub here. What do you guys think about that? How much fun is that? It was a pain in the ass with the hub out of the way. Good job, engineers. Awesome. Kind of had to improvise here and risk destroying my cam seal installer because I don't have the exact adapter. I got it in pretty far though. See, I'll show you what I did. The socket's not deep enough, but I used my aluminum cam seal adapter because you don't want to press on the hub and pull it through with a cup. You want to support the inner bearing race so it doesn't get pushed out of the bearing, right? So I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of dark looking in the viewfinder here, but you don't want to press on the hub, or the knuckle. You want to press on the inner bearing race so it stays in place while you pull the hub in. But I think I've got it in far enough that I have a slight gap. I got to pull it in a little bit more, but I think I got it in far enough that I can bolt it together and use the factory nut on the axle and pull it in the rest of the way. Let's find out. Come on, get off of there. This is a tool you're supposed to use, but there's a special cool adapter to replace this one, because this one doesn't press on the inner bearing race. It end up pressing on the hub you're trying to pull in. It's got to go bigger. I was concerned that I might destroy this because it's aluminum, but it seems to pull it right in. The only problem now, my socket's not deep enough, so I could put another spacer on here, and that's what I'm going to do. 214 foot-pounds is the torque spec. You don't want to over-tighten any more than you want to under-tighten it. You can see where the shoes haven't even fully seated in yet. Part of the shoe hasn't touched the drum yet. The shocks are probably what I would have sold them instead of brakes, but you know, whatever. What do I know? I'm just a lowly mechanic out in the shop. I'm not going to make you guys watch the whole thing. This side here was a little harder. This one here. We had to get the torches, and I torched this while Joe and Paul ran the slide hammer, but it finally let go. This one here is definitely harder than the other side. This side is not being nice. Jeez Louise. Not good. This little catch didn't hold it. That's terrible. Aftermarket stuff. Sweet. Ugh. Snap ring. Gotta show it a little love, make sure it's seated. Put my magic spacer back. Try to make me buy a new tool. I don't think so. I got enough tools. I got enough damn tools. It's actually a seal kit, but it works. It's aluminum though, so I had to be real careful. I watched to make sure it wasn't going to distort the aluminum and ruin it. Wrench cam. Whew, I'm gonna take this air off max, put it on something more reasonable. Take this thing for a drive, see how those brakes feel, make sure there's no more bearing noise. Off we go, see what happens. Look at that Prius, man, that thing looks good. Nice and quiet, brakes good, we got a nice high brake pedal, no more wheel bearing noise. Looks like it's gonna be a win-win-win-win-win, so that's good. Gonna run this thing back to the shop and bid you guys adieu. I hope you enjoyed this video, got something from it. Maybe torque that like button for me, or smash that subscribe. I'll upload some more of this content every week. I upload between 5 and 10 videos, really putting it out there. So I appreciate you guys. You're awesome, and I'll see you in the next video.